Oh boy, oil country. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where are we starting with this one? Where do we start with this fan reaction? The Oilers have now lost 4 consecutive games for the first time since November 2023, which was when Chris Knobloch was hired. He came in and the team has not lost 4 straight games since he was hired. So that's a positive. Were there any positives tonight? Trying to think here. Stu Skinner made some big saves. I didn't like the second goal, that wraparound by Hagel. I didn't like that one at all personally, but he still made some big saves. He really did battle in the third period. The Oilers didn't really give Skinner a lot of reason to make big saves in terms of like Skinner could have just been like, he could have gave up the way the team in front of him gave up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We hang a lot of losses on the goaltending. Tonight, I don't hang the loss on the goaltending. In a vacuum, it looks bad because they give up another 4 goals. Honestly, though, it could have been 7 or 8. Could have been 9 goals against. This is frustrating. And the chat during the live stream tonight, and I don't blame the chat at all, because at some point, frustration will boil over. There's going to be anger. There's going to be anxiety and frustration regarding certain players. There's going to be question marks about the coaching decisions. The chat tonight in the live stream, which, by the way, if you're part of the live stream, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to be frustrated. I'm using this to make my point here. The chat is frustrated. I showed frustration tonight. But you know who didn't look like they were frustrated? The Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers actually looked pretty content with losing another game. A game where they were not in it, a game where they were completely dominated in pretty much every area of the ice. Other than Draisaitl scoring early again in the game on the power play, just like they did against Washington, the Oilers look okay with losing. There is more passion and more frustration in the fans right now, which usually is the case because fans, we are passionate. We're not as level-headed as an athlete should be. But you're on a 4-game losing streak. You've just been blown out twice. And you come into Tampa and you still can't put that effort on. And even when you're down, the most frustration I saw from Edmonton was Nugent Hopkins losing Nick Paul in the slot to make it 4-1, and Nuge kind of yelled the F-bomb and then hit his stick against the glass. And then the most frustration that I saw after that was Leon Draisaitl getting hit by Cernak and getting pissy about it and cross-checking him and taking a penalty. Leon, if you're mad, if you're frustrated that you're losing, if you're mad at the team, if you're just angry in general and you want to take a penalty because you're going to go to the box either way, drop your gloves, bro. Make that thing count. Show some passion. Show some energy. And it's not there. This team does not have that kind of energy right now. They don't have the intensity required to win a hockey game. They don't have the drive. They don't have that, that urgency. There's no sense of urgency. And it's not good enough. It's just not even close to good enough with this team right now. And if they keep playing like this going into the deadline, yeah, Bowman is obviously going to be making a couple moves here. We know he is regardless. But holy smokes, he's going to be dealing from a huge disadvantage when it comes to a negotiating standpoint because he might panic. You probably have Oilers brass. You probably have Bowman and Jackson and all these guys in the higher up office going, holy smokes, everything's going wrong at the same time. And they're going to overpay for someone's not good. So we have to find a way to take a step back and analyze this. But that's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight is a fan reaction. Tomorrow, I will have taken a step back and doing a day after discussion. But this game, like I said, it started off very strong for Edmonton. They got another early power play and they made it count. That's great. The power play has been doing wonders for this team. It's everything else that has not been doing wonders for this team. So we'll take a look at Draisaitl's goal through the NHL Edge visualizer here. Draisaitl was on the power play. Puck was moved around. Evan Bouchard gave it to Dry. Dry down low to Connor McDavid. He centers it back in front. Draisaitl rips one over Vasilevsky's blocker. You love to see that. And then Esamon, he gets it right back just a few minutes later off a, by the way, horrible turnover by Kapanen. Right? I'm actually going to restart this. I'll restart this. Here's Kapanen, right? So he's being pressured by Point. He spins away. Boom, right here. You know what Kapanen should be doing. You got to move the puck right now, right? Like if you're going to go to Henrique, it's on, you're right-handed, you're on your forehand, you can get a pass off here. If you don't have a pass, right here, before you try to make the play, dump it in deep. Dump the puck in. You're trying to skate through the neutral zone where Tampa has everything covered. This is a terrible play by Kapanen. And you know what the worst part about that play was? Kapanen wasn't even benched for it. They're scratching guys like Jeff Skinner, but Kasperi Kapanen is allowed to just have the worst egregious turnover in the neutral zone imaginable that leads to a goal against, and he still gets ice time. I haven't even taken a look at the time on ice stats yet for the team. I don't know if Kapanen played more than Savoy, but I won't doubt that he did. Brandon Hagel then makes it 2-1 early in the second period. This is the goal against Stuart Skinner that I did not like. This is the one that you would have liked Stu to save. This is one where you wanted Evan Bouchard to get his stick on the ice and maybe try and block that from going in. But Stuart Skinner, he didn't even get close. Just not even close. Victor Hedman then scores a power play goal. They had a 5-on-3. And again, it's tough to blame your goalie when you're in the box 5-on-3. Puck came to Hedman. He shoots it. It deflected off of Janmark. Again, that's a tough one to completely put on your goalie. But Skinner's glove was down, and then he was reacting by trying to bring it up. And it's just not good enough. And then, of course, Nick Paul later in the period. Look at this. You have 3 Oilers deep right here. 3 Oilers deep. Awful, man. And a nice job by Tampa. Good outlet here. And in a vacuum, like right here, you have numbers, right? This is essentially a 2-on-2. If Ekholm can pressure Gensel and keep him to the outside, there shouldn't be a pass here. Ekholm, he doesn't cut him off in time because Gensel's fast. And the puck comes out in front. Nugent Hopkins cannot tie up Nick Paul. Nick Paul with the backhand over Stuart Skinner's glove. Again, I don't blame Stu on that one. But the Oilers were never in this game. In all honesty, the score flattered the Edmonton Oilers tonight. It flattered them. Absolutely flattered them. We'll take a look at the time on ice. Connor McDavid led the way in time on ice, and I thought he was the most ineffective forward on this team. Kapanen eventually, he actually did play the least amount of ice time. He played 9:42. Look at that. Matthew Savoy, he got a few shifts in the third period, so thank God that Knobloch was at least giving him some shifts this time. He only played 10 minutes in Washington. But what are we doing here? Arvidsson played another 14:32. Does nothing. Zach Hyman has been invisible. Where are our guys right now? Stetcher played 16:11. I actually liked Stetcher in the lineup over Klingberg personally. We'll see how that keeps rolling. Bouchard only played 20 minutes tonight. Kulak led the way with 23:16. It's a joke what we're witnessing right now from this team. It is not Stanley Cup contender. And it's another loss against a top 10 team in the NHL. How many times have we been talking about this? The Oilers against top 10 teams are brutal. Brutal. Not just by goaltending standards, but just in general. Top 10 teams are feasting on Edmonton this season. Take a look at what their record is. I think now we're up to, what are we, 1-9-2 or something against teams that are within the top 2 of a division. I don't know what the actual stat is, but the Oilers are nowhere near good enough. They are sliding at the wrong time, or right time, if you consider this the right time, right before the deadline. But I'm worried that there's going to be a massive panic trade happen now because of this. It's not nearly good enough. I am more animated and more frustrated and more pissed off than the Oilers. Where is that sense of urgency? Where is that anger? Where's the emotion? Every time it shows players on the Oilers bench, they're just like... And every time they show Chris Knobloch, he's just like... Listen, I'm not saying go old school, but I would love to see the coach behind the bench grab a couple sticks, smash them over his legs, throw them on the ice, start screaming at the refs for some reason, screaming at his players, and try and jumpstart them. This is a team that is stuck in second gear, and they have no idea how to turn the ignition and get the vehicle rolling. This is putrid hockey, and it doesn't get any easier. The rest of this road trip, they play Florida and they play Carolina. They're not going to win either of those games if they play like this. This is truly, truly bad hockey right now. And again, you don't want to get this mad. I'm mad. I don't usually get this mad. I don't usually get this animated, but I'm animated because we know this team is so much better. But some of the decisions that are being made, especially the coaching decisions, we need to talk about the Jeff Skinner situation, by the way. We need to talk about the Jeff Skinner situation. Let me pull up the stat. I might have it in my bookmarks on X. Maybe. I do. I do. Zach Lang from Oilers Nation, by the way, give him a follow. Let's take a look. Jeff Skinner at 5v5 among Oilers forwards in 23 games since the Christmas break. Jeff Skinner ranks first in goals per hour at 1.74. He ranks second in points per hour, 2.79. Second in shots per hour at 9.41. Seventh in expected goals for percentage at 56.2%. Second in actual goals for percentage. Not expected, actual goals for, which means he is not on the ice for a lot of goals against since Christmas. But he's 12th in time on ice per game at 10 minutes and 7 seconds. 12th. Guess how many forwards you play every night? 12! He gets the least amount of ice time, and he's the most productive forward out of all those players. And that's who Chris Knoblauch pulls out of the lineup. What are we doing? Why are you like this? I don't understand. Chris Knoblauch has got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out because this is as close as I've gotten to turning into the Joker during a video. And the camera's scared now. It can't even focus in on me. That's it for the fan reaction. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, not for me, but hit the like button for Kitty and Mochi, my two cats. Don't hit the like button for me, but do it for the kitties. Don't worry, they will get treats, even though the Oilers lost, I promise. And subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video a lot and you want to see more, because the more the team loses, the crazier that I will likely become. So there's a lot of work to do. I'll have a day after podcast episode out tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you soon, Oil Country. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers.